Ergot disease, caused by the fungus Claviceps purpurea, has a long history that dates back to ancient times, although its formal identification and understanding evolved much later. The earliest documented cases of ergot poisoning, often referred to as St. Anthony's fire, are from the Middle Ages, with descriptions of outbreaks that caused gangrene, hallucinations, and other severe symptoms in populations consuming contaminated rye. However, the specific connection between the ergot fungus and these outbreaks was not scientifically established until the late 17th century. The term ergot itself comes from the French word for rooster's spur, reflecting the appearance of the fungus as it replaces grains of rye with dark, spur-shaped structures. Despite historical accounts of ergotism dating back to 857 AD in the Frankish annals, it was not until 1670 that the French physician Thulier is credited with the first clear description of the disease linked to rye bread made from grain infected with ergot fungus. The mechanism of ergotism and its cause were further elucidated in the 19th century, leading to better understanding and prevention of the disease. The root of ergot disease infection, caused by the fungus Claviceps purpurea, involves a complex process that begins when the fungus's spores land on the flowers of susceptible cereal plants, such as rye, wheat, barley, and other grasses. These spores germinate under cool, wet conditions, which are ideal for the fungus's growth. The infection targets the ovaries of the plant's flowers, where, instead of developing into healthy grains, the infected ovaries transform into sclerotia. These dark, hard fungal structures, commonly known as ergot, replace the normal grain. Sclerotia contain the fungal reproductive structures along with a potent mix of toxic alkaloids, including ergotamine. These alkaloids are responsible for the symptoms of ergot poisoning, or ergotism, in humans and animals. The primary route through which humans and animals are exposed to these toxins is through the consumption of contaminated grains. When ergot-contaminated grains are harvested and processed into flour and then made into bread or other food products, the ingestion of these products in sufficient quantities can lead to ergotism. The spread of the ergot fungus within cereal crops can occur when sclerotia are mixed in with grains during the harvest. These sclerotia can either fall to the ground to overwinter or be inadvertently sown with the next year's crop if they are not removed from the seed stalk. When planted, sclerotia can germinate alongside the cereal seeds, giving rise to fungal structures that release spores, continuing the cycle of infection. To control the spread of ergot disease, agricultural practices such as crop rotation, deep plowing to bury sclerotia, and the cleaning of seeds to remove any ergot bodies are essential. These methods aim to reduce the presence of sclerotia in the soil and prevent their incorporation into crops, thereby minimizing the risk of ergot contamination and the subsequent health risks associated with ergotism. Ergotism is a condition resulting from the consumption of foods contaminated with toxic alkaloids produced by the fungus Claviceps purpurea. This disease manifests in two distinct forms, gangrenous and convulsive, each affecting the body in different ways. Gangrenous ergotism primarily targets the body's circulatory system, particularly affecting the supply of blood to the extremities. This leads to a burning sensation often referred to as St. Anthony's fire, due to the intense pain experienced. The reduced blood flow can result in necrosis, where tissues in the fingers, toes, and other extremities die, dry gangrene, potentially leading to the loss of these body parts. Swelling from fluid retention, or edema, is also a common symptom in the affected areas. On the other hand, convulsive ergotism affects the central nervous system. Those suffering from this form of ergotism may experience severe muscle spasms and convulsions, uncontrollable muscle contractions that can be debilitating. Hallucinations, where individuals see or feel things that are not present, are another symptom, likely due to the psychoactive compounds found in ergot. Additionally, it can induce extreme psychological effects, such as mania or psychosis, characterized by extreme agitation, confusion, or delirium. Common physical symptoms include headaches and dizziness, indicative of the toxin's impact on the brain and circulatory system. Beyond these form-specific symptoms, ergotism can cause a range of general health issues, including nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and itching. Sufferers might also experience sensations of heat or cold in the limbs affected by the reduced blood flow. The severity and specific symptoms of ergotism vary depending on the quantity of ergot-contaminated food ingested. Historically significant during times when rye, a cereal grain particularly susceptible to infection by Claviceps purpurea, was a dietary staple, ergotism outbreaks have become rarer with improved agricultural practices aimed at reducing ergot contamination. Treating ergotism, the disease caused by consuming ergot-contaminated food or drink, primarily focuses on eliminating the source of the toxin and managing the symptoms. Since ergotism results from the ingestion of alkaloids produced by the fungus Claviceps purpurea, the first and most critical step in treatment is to cease the consumption of contaminated grains or products. This immediate discontinuation helps prevent the intake of more toxins and allows the body to start recovering from the effects of the alkaloids. For those affected by ergotism, supportive care is a key component of the treatment strategy. This includes measures to improve circulation, manage pain, and address specific symptoms. Vasodilators, drugs that dilate blood vessels, can be used to improve blood flow, especially in cases of gangrenous ergotism where blood supply to extremities is compromised. Pain relief medications are also administered to manage the intense pain and discomfort associated with the disease. In cases of convulsive ergotism, where the central nervous system is affected, treatments may include medications to control seizures and manage psychological symptoms such as hallucinations or psychosis. Sedatives or anticonvulsants might be prescribed to reduce muscle spasms and convulsions, while antipsychotic drugs can help manage severe mental disturbances. Nutritional support and hydration are crucial, especially if gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea are present. Replenishing fluids and electrolytes can help mitigate the effects of dehydration and support overall recovery. In severe cases where necrosis has set in, and there's significant tissue death, surgical intervention might be necessary. This could range from the removal of dead tissue to improve healing to, in extreme cases, amputation of the affected limb to prevent the spread of gangrene. Lastly, education and preventive measures play a significant role in treating ergotism at a community level. This involves informing the public about the risks of ergot contamination in grains and the importance of consuming only clean, inspected grain products. Agricultural practices such as crop rotation, proper grain storage, and the use of certified seed free of ergot contamination can help prevent future outbreaks of ergotism. Overall, the treatment of ergotism is multifaceted, involving the immediate cessation of toxin intake, supportive care to manage symptoms, potential surgical interventions for severe cases, and preventive measures to avoid future incidents.